Brandon's keeping you waiting, Arsenio.
Ain't that deep?
Brandon Tartikoff, the new head of Paramount Studios, is keeping one of his biggest stars waiting.
Sorry you've been waiting. Should
No.
I put on a coat?
No.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay.
Make me wait, don't wear a jacket. If I was a white man, I bet he'd have on a new suit and he'd be on time.
Quick, sharp, and unpredictable.
It's rolling, really? Without the battery pack?
These are very expensive. That's what makes this 33-year-old preacher's son one of the hippest guys on television. Arsenio Hall has been dubbed the Prince of Late Night. 3 years ago, he exploded onto the scene. And with his outrageous outfits, buzz-top hair, and get-busy attitude, he woke up late night.
Have you ever been spanked, really?
You mean the kind you get when you're a woman?
Yeah, when you were good.
Definitely.
Suddenly, if you wanted to sell a movie, push an album, or just make a statement, Arsenio's couch was the place to be. His multicultural mix gave new faces a shot, and old ones a way to be cool.
I'm late tonight because I had to take a donut back. It had a hole in it.
One thing that my show does, that I hope it does, there are a lot of white people that would not go to a black person's house, would not go to a black party. Maybe here's an invitation.
And people are accepting Hall's invite. He has outlasted all other late-night contenders, and although his ratings have recently had a small slip, he remains firmly in second place behind The Tonight Show. While Hall doesn't want to appear competitive with his boyhood idol, Johnny Carson, he says that will all change when the king of late night retires on May 22nd. After that, it's all-out war.
I have a certain kind of respect for Johnny Carson.
Right.
When he's gone, the word respect will only come out of Aretha's mouth.
So it's going to be different.
It's hardball then.
Can we walk in here?
Yeah.
For a man who plays to millions, Arsenio Hall is very much a loner. A deeply religious man, he grew up poor, without possibilities.
I'm one of those kids that was told by guidance counselors in high school, don't go to college, take wood shop, take auto mechanics, because you're not college material. And I was always discouraged.
Arsenio Hall grew up in the Cleveland ghetto, and his memories aren't pretty.
I've seen my dad reach for the gun to end an argument. I've seen my dad chase my mother out of the house. I've awakened in the middle of the night to a fight and come down and try to break it up.
Hall's parents split up when he was 5. His mother worked 2 jobs to put food on the table and used a strong arm to keep her son out of trouble.
Every swing, every punch was worth it. She was determined that she was going to give me a good upbringing alone and not have me end up dead or in jail like most of the people in my neighborhood are.
You talk a lot about your dad, his influence, yet he left home when you were 5.
My father was the one that always taught me, no matter what you do, even if it's a garbage man, that was always his example. If you're a garbage man, be the best garbage man.
Armed with that philosophy, Hall beat the odds, went to college and hit the road as a stand-up comic playing strip joints and seedy bars. With success, the gigs got better, but Hall discovered that some things never change.
I was with Patti LaBelle at Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. And this was, oh gosh, about 7 years ago maybe. I was going up an escalator, and some people were coming down this escalator. It was a couple. And the lady, as you're going past, the lady reached out and said, "Hi." And the guy says, "Hell you touching that nigger for?" It was one of those kind of things where you didn't even want to fight. It hurt that bad, you know? But I heard her say to him, "Stop. That's Arsenio Hall, the comedian." And I guess he didn't recognize me in a sweatsuit, just hanging out. And here's a guy who probably enjoyed my act the night before in the showroom. And now I'm a nigga. And you have to remember that, because to some people, that's what you are.
What's up, man? How you doing, Sam?
In 1980, he moved to Hollywood.
What's up, man? What's going on? You doing all right, man?
Home was a rundown transient hotel, and work was anything he could get his hands on, including doing shows that he knew would fail.
And at that time, I was hungry, you know? I was living in that hotel. And I was like, hey, if I get paid, I'll do anything you say. And I watched the television one night and said, I hate what I'm doing. I hate me there. And it's like, it dawned on me, you let him do that.
Stay right where you are, holding on.
So Hall took some welcome advice from veteran Bill Cosby, who told him to start thinking for himself. In doing that, he got noticed when he took over for Joan Rivers on Fox's Late Show.
Good news, Akeem. We've been rescued.
And he became a star when he did the blockbuster Coming to America with his best friend, Eddie Murphy.
And I want to tear you apart.
The success of the movie gave him the chance to live out a boyhood fantasy.
This was my dream.
To be on the Carson Show?
My dream, when I was a kid back in Cleveland, was to one day do the Carson Show because I always wanted to be like Johnny.
This is the first time we've met. Arsenio Hall.
I always wanted to be that kind of person. I wanted to have a talk show and do what Johnny does.
Now, how come I didn't hear all that woofing going on when I would watch
Too
you?
many white people.
After sitting with Johnny, Arsenio decided to go after his childhood goal. The next day, he went to Paramount executives who had been wooing him with a late-night talk show and said yes, but only if he could do it his way.
My idea was, I watched Johnny all my life. My mother watched him most of hers. Now, there's a generation out there of Carson viewers that have children. And their children really didn't have a show.
But it's just that whole, I have been...
Paul was determined to give them one. He hired an eclectic staff, wrote a hit song for a theme, designed a set without a desk, and hit the ground running. You have, what, 30 seconds? All of a sudden, the kid from the Cleveland ghetto had a shot at the big time, and a lot was riding on his vision.
Jesse Jackson said something to me at an affair, and I've never felt like such pressure. He said, you know, if it works, you can be the Jackie Robinson of late night.
5.
It was Jackie Robinson who broke baseball's color barrier, just as Arsenio was about to break late-night television. Out of the gate, Paul scored big with young viewers, but the critics almost ran him off the air.
And I read all these articles, and most of them were titled, Is He Too Black for Mainstream? So it was a lot of stuff that I couldn't change. I can get better, I can improve, but I'm going to be black.
Here we go.
The criticism hurt, but he hung in there, doing his thing, following his gut.
And all of a sudden, there was this awareness of my 18 to 25 demographic, and people who wanted to go after that knew this was the place you had to come. That's the first time I remember saying, I might be in the game.
Before long, Hall was more than a player, he was a phenomenon. But amid the cheers and fanfare, Arsenio became a target, and he wasn't prepared for it.
I thought, yeah, I'll be the Jackie Robinson of late night. And what I forgot was Jackie got booed by a lot of people, you know? And I wasn't ready for that pain.
What stung him most were the accusations that he wasn't and still isn't doing enough to help blacks.
Yeah, you don't hire enough blacks. You don't do enough for blacks. And then there was a white organization which was saying, you're hiring people because they're black. And I was like, wait a minute, am I pleasing anybody?
Do you think you're making a big difference for other blacks?
Oh, yeah.
You are?
Yeah. It's not for me to say. But between you and I, hell yeah.
Arsenio thinks his greatest contribution comes in just doing his show night after night, being out there, visible, proving that it's possible.
What's the lowest point, drug-related, that you've ever been in?
I was downtown LA in the alley. I was taking a hit.
To that end, he took on the mantle of the national spokesman for DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance Education. Last year, he made a public service announcement with a 16-year-old crack addict named Nicole.
This year, when I was shooting my new PSAs, Nicole was shot in the head and pushed out of a moving car. And she slipped back with the same people, you know, and she started hanging out, you know, with those people again. And so she's dead, you know, and that's what happens. You have to do things.
Pleasure to meet you, Arsenio. Glad to see you.
I was just there all the time.
Arsenio Hall has achieved more than anyone in his neighborhood believed he could. But he is obsessed with doing more, obsessed with his work, and becoming #1.
Do you do anything but work? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a personal life?
Yes. I have a lady who is, you might as well say she lives with me because she's never at her place. And, and people say, you have no life. I say, yes, I do. I have the life I dreamed of having. So you go to Disneyland, you know, you go play Frisbee with the dog in the park. I love my career. I'm happy with it.
Let's run away, yeah, yeah. Let's run away.